What's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new series on the channel, the Unashamed Gaming Podcast, which we will forever know as Mail Time.
Not like on Blue's Clues, though.
Mail Time! I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a good point. Not like on Blue's Clues. Mail Time, because we are men, and we are going to talk about man things, all things, some things, sometimes nothing. However long we want to talk about it.
Probably most of the time nothing.
But from the perspective of two men, thus Mail Time. So, Aaron, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just waiting for this blizzard to hit.
Yeah, me too. My life for the next 4 days.
Yeah, at least, well, depends on how much it snows. I might not be going to work Sunday night. It just depends on how much it snows and if we get out or not. So,
you mean tomorrow?
Oh, crap, that is tomorrow. That sucks. That sucks a lot. That's what happens. You work 6 days a week. You forget there's there's not 2 days on a weekend. I added it up. I worked 6.5 days worth of time this week.
So how does your time work? You get like monthly overtime or
no?
per week?
It's anything over 8 hours in a day is considered overtime, and you get time and a half. And then I was told by one person, but I don't think this is true, but somebody told me it was anything over 40 hours in a week as well will be counted as overtime. Which might be true, but I don't know.
Since you work night shift and you work 6 hours in the morning and then another 2 that night, if you stay over like 2 hours in the morning and then work 2 at night, so that equals 10 hours for that day.
No, my day, it basically goes per shift. So like my day, even though I start on Sunday, it still counts as Monday.
I got you.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a big, stupid mess, but that time and a half it's nice.
One thing I like about this podcast idea is I feel like, how long have we been doing this YouTube channel now? Since Ghost. Since the end of Call of Duty Ghost.
Yeah, it was about halfway through that when I started.
So like 4 years?
Yeah.
So in 4 years, we've uploaded a fair variety of things. We've done mostly Call of Duty as a whole, I guess.
Yeah.
Gameplays, commentaries. We've done Minecraft. We've done Bible studies. We've done some vlogs, but we've not really done like a really good video series for the viewers, however many there may be, just to kind of get to know us as who we are.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's another good thing about the podcast is that we get to just kind of talk and show our personalities a little more. We don't have to talk about anything specific.
Yeah, that's kind of why I went with Mail Time instead of just like specifically a podcast about something.
Yeah.
Because it can just literally be whatever in the world comes to our men brains.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hopefully, over maybe Christmas, we can do one of these in the same room.
That would be fun. Are you coming up here for Christmas?
I will be there. Yes, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, and then the weekend. Well, okay. I'll probably be at my grandparents' house on like Saturday, but maybe Monday or something. It's Christmas Eve or Sunday. I don't know.
Okay. Well, in order to do that, you'll probably have to either have to bring a mic or get like a mic or whatever.
Yeah.
Because this one, with it being cardioid, is not really made to pick up two people. So. But
that's fair.
That'd be fun. So, anyway, episode 1. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about, I actually saw it right before we got on to play today, and I wanted to ask you if you'd seen it or not. Have you seen the new Avengers Endgame trailer?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because I, still haven't seen the last Avengers.
Really?
Yep, still haven't seen it because I still haven't seen Black Panther, Doctor Strange, or the other important, Thor.
Yeah, that's probably pretty important.
I feel like those are all pretty important before I watch it. I sort of know what happens, but I don't 100%. So I'm still fairly avoided the spoilers fairly good.
That's a challenge in itself.
Yeah. And so I haven't watched the trailer for the new one because I didn't know what spoilers it might contain about the last one.
A lot. Yeah.
And I've also my wife kind of turned me on to this idea. We don't, as a whole together, we don't really watch trailers anymore. I feel like movie trailers nowadays show pretty much the whole movie plot for the most part. Not all of them, but a lot of the time, a movie trailer, you can pretty much figure out what's going to happen in that movie based on the trailer.
Yeah.
And
I
so
agree.
if it's a movie that I'm pretty interested in, I just don't watch the trailer. Like if it's a movie that I'm like, I don't know if I'll see that or not, then I might watch the trailer. It looks good. And we also say if we're at the movies and we see previews, obviously we're not going to walk out of the theater, so we see them there.
Yeah.
But as a whole, we don't watch movie trailers, and I think I like it better that way. It's a little bit, it allows me to go into a movie with a more open mind, and I feel like get a better feel for the movie.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that. I generally watch just about any trailer I can find.
Yeah.
I will say this specific one. Now it may change with the newer, the trailers as they come out. But with this one being like a teaser trailer type thing, I mean, it is technically a trailer, but it doesn't really give you much. It doesn't. I don't know. It kind of informs you about one thing, but I don't even know. Like, I haven't seen the newest Ant-Man. So to me,
Right.
the part that would have been the biggest spoiler for plot wise in the movie, I don't exactly know what the heck it's talking about because I haven't seen the newest Ant-Man. So maybe after I watch that one, I'll know more about this one. But at the moment, all I knew is Ant-Man was there. Like that's all.
Yeah. I honestly haven't seen either one of the Ant-Man movies, and I don't remember the last superhero movie I watched, or not superhero, but Marvel Universe superhero
The
movie.
first Ant-Man movie is actually really good. I thought it was one of the better Marvel movies to come out in that time period for that year, I guess. There was a lot that come out every year, but that year I thought Ant-Man was probably one of the better ones.
I'm trying to think what the last superhero movie outside Logan, because that's not really the same universe. I mean, I watched Deadpool, but that's not really the same. Or I didn't watch Deadpool 2, though.
I didn't watch any one of those.
I might have watched Civil War. Maybe was the last one.
Dude, that was a long time ago.
I know.
That was the third Avengers movie, I guess, technically. Even though it wasn't. It was Captain America, but it was kind of an Avengers movie.
Yeah, I think that was the last Marvel Universe movie I watched.
Oh, you're behind. You're really behind.
I'm kind of over it, man. They all kind of have the same general plot.
This one in particular, it very well may be the last one I watch for the majority of the movies, because you probably already know this. I could probably tell you this without spoiling anything. A lot of people expect the original Avengers to die in this movie. A lot of people expected them to die in the last movie. And the reason that is because most of them have not re-signed contracts, and guys like Captain America or Chris Evans that plays Captain America have publicly come out and said they're not coming back to the movies after this next one.
I mean, that kind of was the spoiler for you there, I guess. I mean, that'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to die or not. I don't know if he's just going to walk away or what, but either way, like, he's not coming back. He already said that publicly. And interesting enough, the reason being was not that he said he was tired of doing the movies. He said he really enjoyed doing them. He said it was just too hard on his body, because he said his normal size is basically my size. He said he's about 6 foot, 170, 180, which is right about where I am. And he said for the movies, he literally puts on enough to get up to like 230, 240 of solid muscle. And he says he does that basically just within, just a couple of months. And then they film the movie, and then immediately when he's done filming that one, he has to go film other movies. And you can't, when you're filming a chick flick or something, they don't want you to look like the freaking Hulk, compared to everybody else. So he immediately has to drop that weight off. And he said it's hard on his body to go up and down like that. So
that's probably not healthy.
It's not. I mean, and he even said that it's not healthy to do that. So he's done. And as somebody who's pushing 40 years old, I think he's like 35, something like that. He's 35 to 40-ish. So, I mean, I can understand why he doesn't want to do that anymore at his age.
Yeah, he's got kids too, doesn't he?
I think so. And Chris Hemsworth, that plays Thor, kind of gave the same complaint about having to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been able to put on mass very well. Even when I worked out a lot, I didn't put on a lot of mass. So,
yeah,
it's just not my build. But I suppose if you do it right, you could.
It don't work out.
Yeah, that's my reasoning anymore, I guess. But yeah, I figured I'd ask you if you'd seen that. I actually thought about going on and see if I could find Ant-Man on Netflix or Amazon Video or something tonight and watching it. But I don't know. We'll
I
see.
think Ant-Man is on Netflix. I know a lot of the Marvel movies are. I know Doctor Strange is on. All the ones I need to see are basically. I just
Yeah,
haven't done it.
Ant-Man I think is the only one I haven't watched. The newest Ant-Man. The rest of them I've seen. Um, Captain Marvel's coming out here in a couple of months. I'll try to watch that one because that leads into this next Avengers movie. But I don't know about any of the other ones. I really couldn't tell you.
Is she supposed to be like one of these all-powerful super?
Oh yeah, she's like the Superman of Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Which, okay, so at the risk of sounding hypercritical, I guess, one of my biggest beefs with the Justice League movie, and I think I've told you this before, was that at the end of the movie, like basically for the entirety of this movie, there's this massive creature coming to Earth that nobody knows how to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that and the fact that Batman still feels bad about Superman dying because he feels somewhat responsible, even though he hated his guts, he decides he's going to try to bring him back to life to save everybody. So, spoiler alert, if nobody's watched Justice League, I'd hope you have by now. If not, you might want to turn this off. But anyway, so he brings him back to life, and they go and they fight this bad guy because Superman goes ballistic, obviously, and he doesn't help him. And they go to fight the bad guy, and for like a good 30 minutes, the bad guy just beats the daylights out of DC Universe's best superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Batman is arguably one of the top 2 superheroes in the DC Universe. Wonder Woman's a top 5. You've got The Flash, who has always been a top 5. And they just get Cyborg. I don't know. To me, I don't really give a rip about Cyborg. He's never been all that great.
Except for in Teen Titans.
Yeah, and that's kind of where he belongs. He's a second-rate hero, in my opinion. But like he's just beating the crap out of these people. And I'm like, okay, he's pretty tough. I get it. I get it if you want to let the superheroes get beat up. But then Superman shows up out of nowhere. And he is apparently just so far ahead of all these other superheroes that instantly he just stops the bad guy. I mean, it was in less than like 3 minutes worth of movie time. He stops this bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what's the point in even having the movie? Just show Batman bring him back to life. Skip the next hour and a half. And then show Superman fly in, punch the bad guy one time, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole rest of it was just pointless. So I'm looking at Marvel, and I'm seeing them bring in Captain Marvel, and it just baffles me why they would want to do that in the grand scheme. I know they want to bring in new superheroes because some of the old ones are going away, but like I really think the whole plot of this thing is going to be that she comes and has to beat the crap out of Thanos, just like Superman did to Steppenwolf. And I'm
Probably.
like, you have Captain America, who has always been the greatest Avenger. You have Thor, who is literally a god. You have Ant-Man, who has always been one of the smartest people in the universe. You have the Hulk. I don't even need to explain that one. You've got Black Widow. You've got Iron Man. I'm like, why do you need, if those guys can't stop him, what the heck do you really think this other chick's just going to be able to come in and finish it? I mean, I don't know.
I understand. Yeah.
It just, the whole plot of that, I never have been a fan of superheroes that are just better than everybody else and they have all the superpowers like Superman. I've never been a fan of those. But I don't know. I hope they don't do that. I don't want to assume that's what they're doing and then go into the movie with like some preconceived notion that ruins it for me. But at the same time, like that's what I see happening and it really just bothers me.
I could see that. But this is from, of course, I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah.
So.
With that said, I watched that trailer today and holy crap. That trailer, oh my gosh. I will say Infinity War, I went in with high expectations. Oh, it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. I'm not going to say it was the best movie ever made or anything like that, but for last year, it was probably the best movie of last year. And it was definitely worth the watch. And I think this one, judging by the trailer, has the same potential.
Okay.
So I would definitely recommend catching up.
I mean, I always have meant to. I got to be in the mood for a superhero movie, and I haven't been.
No, what movie I wanted to watch for a long time that every time I sit down, I'm like, I should watch this. I just don't do it.
What?
Jurassic Park. I have the entire...
Original?
Yeah, like I have the first trilogy and the first one with Chris Pratt on Blu-ray. They're sitting in my living room, and I'm like, I really want to go back and watch those because they're good movies, and then I just never do it.
They are. And I would say you said the Avengers movie was the best movie last year. I would say the Jurassic Park movie was the worst movie made last year. That's my vote.
I won't say that I loved the last Jurassic Park movie. I'm not going to say I hated it. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed myself being there. I do understand why a lot of people did not enjoy themselves because the more I thought about the movie, the more I found ridiculous plot holes.
Ridiculous plot holes.
Yeah, but I mean...
Not to mention very predictable plots.
Oh, the plot was stupidly predictable. It was almost a remake of the first one with Chris Pratt, just with a different dinosaur.
But I will say, if they could win an Oscar for best scene with the Bronchiosaurus would win it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Where it's walking out on the dock and...
and the lava is chasing it.
Yep, yeah, that was a great scene.
That was. Yeah. Jokingly, I tell my wife all the time when the baby wakes up and her eyes just all of a sudden bug out. I'm like, the T-Rex has awoken.
Oh, I just about knocked something.
Yeah, so, all right, obviously, we're the Fortnite channel now.
Yeah,
so,
I guess so.
At the risk of being labeled as a complainer and a criticizer of all things great, what is your thoughts on Season 7?
All right, I'll try and be objective here. I like the changes to the map.
Okay.
As far as landscape, locations, I think that's pretty cool. I like the snow. That whole southwest corner of the map was relatively unused. So I feel like all of these additions have once again spread out the players a little bit. And it looks good. I think it looks pretty good. I dislike the planes. I think, like you mentioned earlier, playing, they should not have a turret on them because it really, I don't know, it just makes them really annoying. Like, they're not that deadly, I guess. But they're very annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm not a huge fan of the zip lines. I think they're an interesting idea. They just clunky as far as the mechanics goes. It seems like you randomly fall off for no reason sometimes, and it's hard to make yourself like turn around and go the other direction or jump off without grabbing back onto it when you want to. So I think if they could refine the mechanics of the zip lines a little bit, they could be a little better. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else they added with this season other than really the planes, the zip lines, and the locations. Can you think of anything they added?
No, off the top of my head, I know they took some stuff out, but I don't think they added much else.
Yeah, the removals I'm fine with. Like we said, the impulse grenades were fun, or whatever they're called, shockwave grenades, but I hardly ever used them. So
yeah, I don't really know why they took those out. Stop it, Pooch. Hey.
But that's kind of my thoughts on Season 7, I guess. My biggest thing is the planes. I don't like all the vehicles they keep adding into the game. Yeah. Although, if they were just for transportation, it wouldn't be that bad because you kind of almost need them with how the way the storm moves.
Yeah, so probably one of my bigger thoughts on the planes is that they should do a couple of things. One, I wouldn't mind if they just took the turret completely off, but I feel like if they're going to leave a turret on it, it needs to be on like a secondary position to where the guy driving the plane or flying the plane cannot shoot. If you're in solos, there should be some kind of thing, kind of like the four-wheelers, where you can just lock it and fly in a straight line, and then you can like go down into the bottom and shoot the turret. That way you can't steer around, and then before you crash into something, you need to go back up top.
Yeah.
Or put it to where, like in duos or squads or something, somebody can jump on the turret and shoot while it's flying around. I think that would be fair.
Okay.
I also think, like I've told you before, I feel like if it blows up or if it crashes into something, it should just blow up and you should die.
Yeah.
Like, I get maybe give it a little bit of health, but when you crash into a mountain or you're driving through buildings or something, like, you should take damage on your plane and eventually it should blow up and you should die. You shouldn't be able to parachute out if you're dumb enough to wait until the plane explodes. Like, you should have a health bar on your screen somewhere on your screen. Kind of like H1, when you would jump into trucks and things, the health bar of the vehicle would go over top of the health bar of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should put a health bar just above your shield bar. That just gives you the health of the plane. And if you're dumb enough not to hit the eject button to where you can eject and then glide away before that thing hits 0, then you're dumb enough that you deserve to die. I mean, that's just how I look at it.
I also think that planes that should not auto land themselves.
No, they shouldn't.
They should blow up when they crash.
Yeah. Floating down's a little ridiculous. With that said, I don't think it's the worst thing they've ever added. I think the turrets in general are much worse of an addition to the game. I think those were much more game breaking. I don't think the planes are all that game breaking. They're just one of those annoying kind of things, which was my first thought when I saw the Porta Fortress. Turns out it's not that bad. I do wish they wouldn't have taken the shockwave grenades out, though. I don't use those a lot, but when I do use them, I generally get some pretty good clips with them.
Yeah.
But, oh well, I guess they figure they have grapples and they have all these vehicles and stuff now. What do you need those grenades for? But I do wish they would take out some form of vehicle, whether it's the quad, the golf carts, or the planes, or even if they just removed the amount of them, like reduce the amount of them on the map, to where on the entirety of the map there's like 6 golf carts, 10 quads, and 5 planes. I mean, I feel like that would be enough. I mean, that's still like 20-something vehicles for 100 people.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's enough. Otherwise, this game is quickly turning into H1Z1, where everybody was literally just driving in circles with their trucks and SUVs and police cars. And then you would jump out, whip it around in front of you, take like 2 or 3 shots, and jump in and try to drive away before you got shot. And I don't know. That wasn't fun for very long at all. But
yeah, I could agree with that. I don't know. I'd be all right if they just removed golf carts altogether. No.
Yeah, I figure the only reason that the golf carts are still there is just because of lazy links.
Yeah, I'm also I don't like how easy it is to take damage. And like, if you don't land the jump, sure, take damage. But if you land the jump on all 4 tires, you shouldn't take damage.
Yeah, I agree. It's I don't know. I guess it would depend on how high you are in the air. I think there should be a ceiling to that, to where if you fall for a certain, like the people that are gliding all the way across the map on a 4-wheeler, like when they hit the ground, they should take a lot of damage. That should be a trade-off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that when you just you ramp it off the side of a hill and land and you take 10 damage, that's a little stupid.
How long do you think Fortnite will stay relevant?
So, I know viewership is not what it used to be. Guys like Ninja don't necessarily have the same views as what they used to get. But with that said, the views are spreading through smaller people.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you're still losing some. But I don't think it was last month. It was a month before, if I remember right. There were 200 million people that jumped into a game on Fortnite at some point or another. 200 million. Like, Call of Duty hasn't seen that in years. So I don't foresee it dying anytime soon. I mean, I would give it probably at least another year before it becomes to where it's H1 sweaty,
Yeah, I just checked. It is currently still by double the highest watched game on Twitch, like right now.
Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, even last night when Optic Gaming was playing, it was still, dude, fathom this. Black Ops 4 last night, during their first tournament of the year, with Optic Gaming playing, the biggest team, they were still number 4 on Twitch's viewer list.
Yeah.
I mean, that really surprised me. I expected them to be number 2 under Fortnite, but they were number 4.
You do have to consider it was like pool play. So.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I fully expect like grand finals or something to be a little different.
And
But
I will
it
also say
surprised me.
that is still growth in Call of Duty compared to 5 years.
Yeah. Since Ghost, I guess there's not been very good viewership. Advanced Warfare had some.
Like Black Ops 2 set it on a upward growth, and then Ghost kind of plateaued way down, and then they've been slowly trying to recover from that, I think, and I think it's higher now than it's ever been.
Yeah, Advanced Warfare was not unfun to watch. That's what it was, stupidly unfun to play. But it was not unfun to watch because it was so fast paced. With that said, a lot of people didn't like that because it just made it really hard to keep up with things. And I feel that way about Black Ops 4, and I feel like viewership is going to go down in Black Ops 4 because of the fact that where it's 5v5, they're constantly switching between players way too much. Yeah. I mean, people are, as soon as you switch to somebody, they get in a gunfight and die, and then you're switching to somebody else. And it's like, I bet you could probably count and find over 1,000 times they switched throughout the hard point yesterday between Optic and who was the last, Splice. I mean, it's just hard to keep up with, and that is not good for viewership. You want it to be easy to follow, which is why I think Fortnite stays number 1 to a point, and especially in these tournaments like skirmish events and things, because it is very easy to watch. You got a freaking 20-story build battle, they just back up, zoom out, and you can see the whole build battle.
Yeah. And Fortnite is not an inherently hard game to play or understand. There's not a lot of elements. There's shooting, building, and healing, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and if you can, I mean, shooting's about the same as any other game. You just got to tap fire it a little more. Really, the building is the biggest thing, and if you can just get the basic 1x1 down, you'll be somewhat successful. Unless you join in a week 8 or 9 of the season where there's nothing but flipping sweats left. That was annoying. But
yeah,
that's a whole other story. So, but you know, it is what it is. There was something else I was going to talk about, and I don't remember what it was. It wasn't anything really all that important. Oh, you're moving. That's right.
Yeah.
So you said you're keeping the same internet? Is that right?
No.
No? Oh, no, you're going to CenturyLink. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm keeping similar speeds according to what they say they have on going. I'm supposed to be able to get 80 down and 20 where I'm going.
Yeesh.
Now, if that's actually the case, I don't know. We'll see. But when we were visiting the house, the landlord also owned the house next door and rented it out. And he's like, yeah, that guy over there is CenturyLink, and he was telling me earlier he's been out for 2 weeks. So,
yeah. Ooh, that sucks.
So, I will have internet. I will play. I will hopefully still be able to stream, but we'll see what happens.
Mine should be done by the end of the year. That's what I've been told. It's supposed to be done by the end of the year. They're basically just wrapping up, putting all the stuff through town. And then I can call them and have them schedule to start coming putting stuff in. It may be like middle of January or so before it's all put in and hooked up, but all their actual like installation of the fiber itself outside on the road should be done. So hopefully to start next year, I can start streaming some again.
That'd be good. About the time I probably will have to quit.
Yeah.
I'm moving like the 18th of January, I think, or that week. And it'll probably be. I probably will be out of commission maybe that last week or 2 of January, but hopefully I'll be back running like normal by the start of February. So,
okay. Well, I will do my best to cover that. It's been a little difficult to cover things. One, honestly, until I get better internet, I'm just at the mercy of whatever I can do at the moment, which is why I didn't upload hardly anything this week or last week, because I literally my internet just doesn't cooperate. So.
Are you still uploading at work?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Technically, I don't use the internet at work. Thank you very much.
That's right, because you're not allowed to. So why would you?
Exactly. I mean, that's just nonsense. I don't know why anybody would do that.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. But I did get 3 videos up this week, and I do have one ready for Monday. It'll be a Spider-Man video. I'm going to try to finish that series out just to get it uploaded in case you decide you want to watch it.
One day, probably.
I mean, it'll give you something to do while you're sitting there with nothing to play, waiting on CenturyLink.
Thanks.
But I should be able to stream hopefully by the end of January, and I don't know where I'm going to stream yet, to be honest. I really haven't decided. I don't know if I'll continue to stream on YouTube or if I'll swap to like Twitch. I considered Mixer for a while. I don't know, to be honest.
I think your likelihood of getting viewers.
I just missed the last part of that sentence you cut out.
Oh. I said I feel like your likelihood of getting viewers is higher on Twitch.
Probably. The amount of viewers on Twitch is definitely going to be easier to come by for the sheer purpose of trying to find people that could watch, I guess. The potential people is higher.
Yeah.
YouTube, obviously, like you stream on YouTube a lot. We get like 3-4 views a video. And I think that's because, 1, Fortnite has oversaturated the market at this point. 2, because YouTube is generally not a good place for live streaming unless you're doing something just oddball. And 3, we're just not a very big channel, so that is what it is. But the reason I considered Mixer was viewership on Mixer obviously doesn't have the same potential as Twitch, but there's also not near as many streamers on Twitch or on Mixer. And the ones that are there are not near as big as the ones on Twitch. Yeah. So I feel like there's a better opportunity to gather what is there, I guess. A better opportunity for harvest, for lack of a better way to put it. But I don't know. I guess better guarantee at Mixer is what I'm trying to say, and better potential at Twitch.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the dilemma I'm stuck in. I really don't want to stream to YouTube. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a dual stream, but I don't want to stream just to YouTube. I'd rather stream to Twitch or Mixer.
Yeah, I would stream to Twitch if... I don't know. I'll probably need to make a new layout before at least YouTube link on it or something.
Yeah, I want to try to get something set up. You can go to Stream Elements, and I don't know. I think it's free. I think it's free. But the reason I would say Stream Elements over Streamlab is because Stream Elements can basically use a plugin on your OBS and not make you have a whole separate OBS.
Yeah.
And then you literally do the exact same thing Streamlabs does. And Stream Elements also has like built-in overlays and things like that that'll give you templates to use, and then you can go and edit the template to how you want it. And they already have like pre-set up subscriber notifications, donation notifications, things like that for if that's ever needed. But I think I'll probably do that and then just link that to Twitch. Probably what I'll do.
That would work.
They got like transitions between scenes and all that stuff that you can use. So that's probably what I'll go with. I don't know. It's still up in the air. Just really, realistically, it depends on how my schedule lays out. Because with me working overtime every day, sometimes having to work on the weekends, and then obviously the new baby's here. My wife's going back to work in January, so I'll be up 3 days a week. I'll be up every day through the week during the mornings now instead of the evenings probably.
So you're gonna when are you gonna sleep?
During the evenings, I guess.
Ugh.
So yeah, I mean she's gonna be going to work from like 9 to 4 or something like that, or 9 to 5 or something. I don't know, something that range. So if I work, basically I'll work over to like 8:30, leave, come home, get the baby, stay awake until she gets home, then give her the baby, and then go to bed. Luckily, that's only 3 days a week, but still, it's 5 hours literally. So I don't know, it's gonna be a little difficult. And obviously, like if I can get the baby to nap during the day, I'll nap too. But I figure those days where she is home, I'll probably spend time with her, and the rest of the time, if possible, I'll stream if the baby is content. But there's no guarantee that's ever gonna happen. So
one day.
Yeah, but for now, it may just be videos for the most part, maybe streaming on the weekends.
Yeah, I might be able to play during the week. I mean, you know how my schedule is. Days off, so
you'll have to get out of bed.
Man, why you gotta be like that?
Well, I can't stay up 24 hours and then go to work. I tried that once. That was a poor decision.
Yeah.
But
That's about to be what I'm doing. Dang, man.
did you not go to sleep this morning?
I did. I mean, I woke up I got out of bed when I texted you, but I woke up. Sarah went to a concert today with her family, so she's not here.
When's she coming back?
Probably she's on her way now from Charlotte.
Gotcha.
But I'll be gone when she gets here. But anyway, so I got up when I woke up when she left about 30 minutes, but then slept again until 12.
Gotcha.
But,
well,
of course, I also worked until 2 last night, so.
Yeah. Assuming for whatever reason you're awake and I don't have church tomorrow and I don't have work tomorrow, I'll be able to play sometime tomorrow if you're up and want to play. But yeah, we'll have to work out some kind of schedule. I don't know.
I guess we'll figure that out in the future. I don't need to talk about it on the podcast though.
Yeah. All right. It's been going for like 36 minutes, so I guess last thing. I don't know. Last thing I was going to talk about was something in Proverbs, which I preached on a while back.
Oh.
Got you off guard, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna get a Bible if I needed, but I can't now.
You always need a Bible. You can just Google. You realize that?
Okay. Fine. What am I looking?
Proverbs chapter 9, and I accidentally went to chapter 2. Chapter 9. I was going to put this at the beginning, but then we got so tied up with everything else, and I couldn't remember what I was going to do, so.
Man, oh, there it is, okay.
Oh, dear.
For the whole chapter, or?
Yeah, I mean, just in general. I'm not going to, read the whole thing or anything, but. So, obviously.
Oh, we talked about this a little bit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, obviously, Proverbs is, the book of wisdom, so to speak, from Solomon's perspective.
Yes.
And this chapter in particular really stands out to me for a couple of different reasons. And if somebody's watching this, I hope you take the time to pause the video right here, read this chapter. It's short. It's only 18 verses. It's pretty short verses. It'll take you like a minute and a half to read. So the thing that stood out to me the most in this chapter was the fact that in verse number 4, wisdom sends, it says it sends forth her maidens in verse number 3, and it says she cries in the highest places of the city, and she says, whoso is simple, let him turn in hither, for as him that wanteth understanding. Or as for him that wanteth understanding, she saith unto him, come eat of my bread, drink of my wine, which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish and live. Go in the way of understanding. Just fast forward down to verse number 14, or number 13, and it's then speaking from the opposite perspective, from a foolish perspective. It says a foolish woman, she's clamorous, she's simple, doesn't know anything. And it says she sits at the door of her house and on the high places in the city, just like wisdom does. And it says she calls the passengers who go on their way. And it says she literally cries out the exact same thing. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wants understanding. And then she gives her spiel of how she's going to provide them with understanding. And it is completely contradictory to what wisdom says. But it just stands out to me that they both cry out the same thing. Look this way. And that is, to me, that is just life in a nutshell in today's world. Everything is just look over here, look what I can give you, look what you can get from me. It's going to make you happy, it's going to make your life better. Live however in the world you want to live as long as it makes you happy, and all this other junk. And it literally, I mean, this is it. Foolishness literally just stands there crying out. And it says, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant, which, would tell, basically just means that the things that we ought not to be doing are the things that will feel good now. Stolen waters are sweet. The things that we take that aren't ours, that God did not give us by his hand, they seem fun now, but in the end, they're not fun. And bread eaten in secret is pleasant. The things that we do that we think nobody else sees, the things that we think we get away with, it seems real fun and enjoyable now. You know, people doing sexual things outside of marriage. It's fun while it's fun for the moment. Doing drugs is fun while for the time being. You know, it feels good. You know, going out and getting drunk, that seems real fun for the moment. But what you don't see is all the repercussions of that, where there's children born into homes that don't have both parents, and it makes life hard on both sides. And there's people who get drug addictions that end up with all kinds of diseases and everything else from needles and everything, and all the side effects from the drugs they take. And you don't see the people who have car accidents because they decide they were going to get in and drive home, or the ones that beat on their wives when they lose their temper when they're angry, and all these. You don't see any of that stuff. You know, foolishness says it all feels good, but in the end, verse number 18 says that it's literally just death and hell as a result of it.
I think, yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. To me, what gets so many people is that, yes, they're both saying the same thing, and they're both, verse 16, 17 is not a false statement. I mean, it's true. But by the same token, obviously, so is, verse 6 and verse 5. Both are true statements, but you got to look at verse 18 and the end of verse 8, or not verse 8, verse 10. Basically, you get the results of each of these things, and that's where you got to make your decision, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, verse number 11 says, "For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased," which you'll have a longer life, and it'll be a better life. Or you can do the other things, and you'll find death and hell. And you may feel good now, but in the end, what do you got to show for it? It seems like that's just everything right now. Like even with like simple things like the stock market. People hit the Bitcoin thing like crazy. Yeah. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with investing or anything. I mean, for the people who came out on top, that was a smart investment. I give them credit. They hit it right. But there were so many people that didn't have the resources to be investing in Bitcoin that literally lost everything.
Yeah.
Because they got $1,000 to their name, they throw it in Bitcoin, it goes up to like 16,000 per 8, or didn't it break like 20,000 at one point, or got dang close? And
then it got a lot.
Yeah, and then it drops, and it's like, I don't even know if they're at 1,000 per share at this point. And it's like, man, people just lose everything just because they think it's gonna be something that changes their life. It's the get rich quick scheme, But
yep.
I don't know. That was just something that I've been studying that and thinking about it for weeks. I don't know. It doesn't leave my head. I'm sure I need this more than a lot of people do. Even when it comes to simple things, like I'm not going out here and getting drunk or doing drugs and laying around with all kinds of women, but just simple principles of life,
Yeah.
I mean, just going from what you say to one person to the next, how you handle certain situations, all that stuff can be tied into wisdom.
The nice thing about Proverbs, which most people probably know this, but there's 31. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many days are in a month? 31. Most months, except for the ones that aren't, obviously. But as a general rule of thumb, you can read a proverb a day for a month and get through the whole book. And you can just then start it over. In addition to because most of the proverbs aren't that long. Like this one's only 18 verses. But it's nice to get a little. I used to do that for a long time. I would just read a proverb a day for a couple of years. And it's just nice to get a little dose of that wisdom, before you do whatever other studying you have to do.
Yep, absolutely. Well, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up? It's been about 45 minutes. So.
When are you uploading this?
Probably next week. I'll just have to, if I have time to edit it today and tomorrow, I'll get it up early next week. If not, it may be later next week.
Okay.
Depends on what day you feel like works better for you.
Don't matter to me.
All right.
I guess you want. Well, we'll talk about it after this. All right. No, I'm good.
All right then. Well, this has been mail time, I suppose. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1 of the podcast, and hopefully this will be a long-running series. If we could do one every week, that'd be fantastic. Obviously, that might not be possible, depending on our schedules. But if we could do one every week, that'd be good. Just half hour, 45 minutes a week. It shouldn't be too bad.
Nah, I think we can handle that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching and listening to our thoughts on different things. We'll try to have some different topics every week. Maybe want to try to find some news articles every week.
Yeah.
Nothing just random. Current events. Yeah, current events would be good. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and I guess we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.